So normally OPA does a retreat conference in nature every couple of years. And this last year, 2020, of course, we had to morph online like everybody else did. And we made the choice looking ahead and thinking that we will still be in pandemic energy through 2021, that we would do this conference online as well. And there's a lot of advantages to an online conference. Many people who can't travel for various reasons get to participate. And so we're really excited about our offering. So each one of us is involved as some kind of, track leader or teacher in this conference. And so I'd like each one of you to just give a brief synopsis of what it is you're doing at the conference in April. And can I start with you again, Laura?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I am doing a track that's focusing on the emotional landscape, looking at the moon. Will include looking at the fourth house, any planets in the fourth house, the ruler of the fourth house, the dispositor of the moon, aspects to the moon. We're gonna really explore the full range of how our emotional needs developed. How do we get them met? How do we get them met constructively? How do we get them met destructively? How do then we transition from habitual patterns of ineffectively feeding ourselves to looking at ways of nurturing and self-care?
Oh, thank you. That's so great. And I think I should explain to people who may be new to OPA retreat conferences what a track actually is, because we do a 6-day conference, and the first day is typical speakers. And as you know, at most conferences, the speakers are usually an hour. Some speakers may be 2 hours at some conferences, but usually somewhere in between an hour and 2 is what each speaker does. So you get to see a little bit about what they teach. But with the tracks, which are on days 2, 3, and 4 of our conference, you have 4 hours a day with your track leader. So it's a deep immersion into a particular subject matter. And the track leader works with the charts of everybody in the class. So the direct feedback of people's direct experience of their own chart is under the microscope via the lens of that track and what that track is supposed to be about. I'm also a track leader at this event, and my track will be the Destiny Imprint, which will be about the lunar nodes, Saturn, and Pluto, and how they are configured in your chart, how they work together or not, and the times in life where you are in the process of going deeper around these karmic mandates to evolve and come into your soul-centered power. So we've got 15 tracks for the OPA conference, and every one of them is truly amazing. So Rachel, you want to talk about your talk?
Sure. I feel very privileged and very honored I'm doing 2 things for this. And the first one is I'm giving a talk that's called Prescription versus Prediction, using astrology in this new age. And I'll really be talking about how astrology can be a spiritual tool to help you co-create the life that you desire. And so we'll look at the themes, the big soul growth themes in natal charts, and we'll look at what kind of things can hold us back or can limit us. And then we'll also look at how do we use transits and progressions and other chart advancement techniques to show us opportunities for times when we can overcome some of those limits that are inherent within our natal charts. And really come into more of our own sense of personal power. So that's the talk that I'm going to be giving. And then I'm also leading a ritual. And the ritual is, it's an art ritual, and we'll be creating some magic together. And the theme is, who do you want to be in this new age? And so we're gonna make some magic. And this is going to be a very interactive ritual where people will be setting intentions, and we'll all create a sacred circle together and honor all of those intentions. And then I have some really specific artistic activities that we'll all do together to create a symbol out of art for what that intention is going to be that you can carry into 2021 and beyond. And even if someone doesn't have any artistic experience at all, if you don't consider yourself an artist, my techniques and my way of approaching this is it's for anybody and it's for everybody. And so I'll have very specific templates for people to use and very specific instructions. So for someone who loves art, they can go to town and use whatever mediums they have. And for those who really just want to be a part of a ritual, they can come and use the templates that I've set up. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so one of the things that we're doing at this conference this year is we have a different yoga teacher every day. I am one of them. I'll be doing the opening yoga and the closing yoga, and a number of other teachers, and also creatives like Rachel. And we're doing several creative kind of hands-on, just to break things up and to have something a little bit more fun as part of our day, and because we take in so much on the mental level to work with the creative processes, I feel will be really, really helpful and illuminating. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Stormy Grace.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a talk this year about astrology and social media, but it's usually social media. Oh my God, is usually what that feels like for most people. So I'll be presenting that from a little bit of a different lens, and mostly from the perspective of why would this be something useful in the astrologer's toolkit? Why would we be missing something if this is not a part of what you've got going on already. So it's really interesting to see, especially when we get to the numeric breakdown of how this can work for people. It's always interesting. But I find most of the time as I'm approaching really brilliant practitioners, this fear of getting out into any one of the different social places is usually right there, right front and center. So we're going to have a talk about why and how.
Beautiful. Thank you. I would say many of us, me included, definitely need that talk. Definitely. I dabble in social media, but I honestly half the time have no clue what I'm doing or what I should be doing. So it's
It's not scary out here, I promise.
Thanks so much. And Gemini Brett, you are muted, but no.
This is kind of what I'm, I guess, best known for, especially in OPA, where I've been teaching astrology for astronomers as part of the certification process. And my track next year is astrolocality. So we'll be looking into astrocartography, which shows us maps of where planets were rising or reaching or resting or rooting in any moment, like a birth moment. Local space astrology, which is another incredible astro mapping technique, really, that can help us find our power places on the earth. And in some senses, it's a tricky time to be presenting this information because, people are certainly not traveling like we were, and we'll be doing this conference online, and that's been the case, as we know, this last year and maybe for the year ahead. But it can really bring our consciousness, to places where parts of us really shine or really come alive. And so I love to incite the idea of traveling without moving. Like, if there's a place on the earth that's really highlighted at the time of your birth by where perhaps the sun was shining directly overhead, what if you learned the music of that land, or what if you hang some art from that place on your wall? Or I'll be teaching astrolocality from a very personal level. Like, where are your power places on Earth, using astrocartography, using local space, using the geodetic mapping system. And we'll be doing this with everybody in the class, personal examples. I'll be showing you how to use free technology, free softwares online to do all this so people can go home and start practicing it right away. I'll be showing the foundations of it, but also be showing some really interesting examples